Hey everyone, this is James with Security Cam Warehouse, here to give you a quick overview of the web interface of our brand new Admiral line. So here we are at the login screen. I'm just going to log in with our default password. And if you are using the default password, it is going to prompt you to suggest changing the password. You can hit cancel this, but we do recommend using a secure password for your web interface. So I'll just hit cancel for now. And on the left here, you're going to see your list of cameras. And the ones with the red means that there's no camera connected at the moment, or things like that. And then on the bottom, we'll see the grid options. You can change to whatever grid you want there. I'll make the biggest grid, but a couple of different options on the web interface. We also can hit the play button here to completely populate whatever grid we have. And from there, we can also change over the grid as we'd like as well. You can also manually choose which cameras you want to put in there just by clicking the camera, and it will populate the next grid available. So I'll skip over to these other cameras and it will automatically put those in an open port. By default, on the web interface, it's going to be using the substream, which uses about 90 to 95% less data than your traditional mainstream. You can switch it over by clicking this icon, the number 1 on that icon there, but that's going to use a lot more data, so you have to use that depending on your internet speed and everything like that. I'm going to click the laser here and give you a quick demo of our PTZ controls as well. And you can see we've got full PTZ controls for this, all on the web interface, including speed, and zoom, focus, iris, everything like that. And we also have preset controls, so if you want to set some presets, you can do it from there. And then we have patrol controls, and then recording patrols, so like a macro. On the bottom here, we have some icons. The first icon here is a snapshot, so you can click that, and it's going to save a snapshot to your computer of whatever you're looking at. Right here, we have a start local recording, so you click that, it's going to start recording video to your local hard drive on your computer. We also have this button, which is digital zoom, so it's just going to digitally zoom in on the image that you're looking at. If your camera has a microphone, you can also mute or unmute the audio there and change the volume. And then as a PTZ setting, there's something called 3D positioning, where you draw sort of like digital zoom, but instead of digitally zooming, it actually zooms in on that area. So a pretty neat little feature there. And finally, the last button there is full screen, so you can make that full screen on your computer. So that about covers it for the live view. We'll move on to playback and take a look at that. Alright, so we're here in the playback interface, and you're going to see on the left here, it's kind of similar to the live view interface. We have our list of cameras, and we can select one or multiple cameras. In this case, I'm just going to select one for this demo. And on the bottom, we're going to see the calendar, where we can choose which day we want to play back. This NVR only has one day, which is the 11th, and I'm going to select that. And then on the right here, you're going to see the timeline. So it goes all the way from 0 to 24, so it's a complete 24-hour period, one day. And if you want, you can zoom in, and that's going to make the timeline smaller, so it's a little easier to see the events. So this is down to 12 hours, down to 6, and then finally down to a single hour. So now it's a lot easier to see and pull up a specific incident. So once you find the time you want to play back, you can just kind of click and play, and that's going to bring it back there. And then while you're playing it back, you can also click and it will jump to wherever you put on the timeline as well. So from the web interface, we have some options as well. So you can go all the way to 16 times playback speed. And then also go down to 1/4 speed as well, so slow motion if you wanted to. Go back to regular speed. We also have forward 30 seconds and then back 30 seconds. And then we have individual playback by frame. So you can see I am playing every frame back one by one there by clicking. So on the left here, we also have pause, stop, and play reverse if you want to play backwards video. I'll hit play again. And then from the left here, we also have the snapshot button, just like on the live interface. That's going to take a picture for you and save it to your computer. And then we have the start clipping button. So what this does is you clip it once, and that's going to start the clip. And then you click it the second time, and that's going to end the clip. And then you have a download button that comes up, and you can click here to download the video that you just clicked. On the right here, we have add a tag. So if you want to tag a certain video, you can do that and make it a little easier to find. If you do select multiple cameras, you'll see it will fill in and play them all synchronously based on the time that you have on the first camera. We also have the download button, which is on the left side to the right of the camera. And what that will do is you can specify time to look at motion incidents or full clips. And you can see here I got 4 cameras selected, so it's going to bring up all the motion incidents from these cameras today. And I can click and download whatever files I want by clicking in the file and clicking download. And that will download straight to your computer's hard drive. So that about covers playback. We'll move over to setup and take a look at there. So here we are under the configuration options under setup, and I won't go over everything in great detail, but I'll show you some of the important ones. Like here you can set your time, whether or not you're using daylight savings time. And we'll skip over to camera, where we see the camera status screen. Camera management is where we can modify ports and make sure everything's working right. Under encoding, we can change the different bit rates, frames per second, and stuff like that. Whether or not it's using H.265 or H.264 on the camera. We move over to OSD, we can change the camera name. Under image, here's where we can adjust the different settings for the image. So things like brightness, saturation, exposure settings, and different white balance settings and stuff like that. This is really to tweak the settings to get it perfect for your area. A lot of these things will automatically be great out of the box, but if you ever want to tweak it and see what it looks like, you can do it there. Under schedule, this is where we can adjust the recording schedule. So you see this camera is currently recording on motion. I'm going to switch it over to constant by just clicking the normal and dragging it over, and you see it went all blue there. So that camera is now recording constantly. Under motion, this is where we can tweak the motion recording settings if you're recording based on motion. And basically anywhere there's a grid it will detect motion, anywhere there's no grid it will ignore motion. The other thing to look at is the sensitivity on the right there. The higher the number, the more likely it is to detect motion, and the lower the number, the less likely it is. Moving on to video loss, this is where you can adjust a alert, whether it's email or buzzer, if it is detecting that a camera is disconnected. Tampering, similar to video loss, except it's if somebody's moving the image or putting their hand in front of the camera or something like that. A privacy mask is an area you can block out in the image if you don't want to show that on the live view and recording. And snapshot settings are going to go over snapshot. Under VCA, we're going to find all of the analytic-based detection, so face detection, intrusion detection, cross-line detection, audio, people counting, defocus, scene change, and auto tracking if your camera is equipped with it. We do have a full guide on that on our website, so if you want to take a look at that, if you have any questions about setting that up and what they can do. Moving on to hard drive, and we're going to see the status of the hard drive, how much space it has, if it's operating normally and everything like that. Alarm is if your NVR is equipped with an alarm input or output, and you can tweak the settings there. Under the alert function here, we're going to be able to set whether certain incidents like network disconnected, illegal access, and abnormal recording, record a buzzer, which is the audible warning on it, or an email. So you can set that up. Under network, we're going to see the network settings. And you can tweak all of that from the web interface, which ports it uses, and your email settings, and such like that. Under user, you can add and modify permissions on certain users. So I've added a demo user here, which can view but not change settings. And then under maintenance, we have logs, hard drive status. So this goes over advanced analytics on the hard drive to make sure that that hard drive isn't going to fail on you and that it's operating normally. You can do a sector text as well. Online user is going to show who's logged in currently to the NVR. Under network, that's just going to give you the idea of what's going on with the network, just like the other screen. And then PoE status, you'll be able to see which cameras are taking up how many watts and which ports. Camera is also going to go over the status of the cameras. And then recording here, we're going to see that first camera I changed to constant is the only one recording because the other ones aren't detecting motion. Packet capturing for networking issues. And then going to the maintenance where you can do restarting, factory defaults, and such like that. Also our new cloud firmware upgrade as well. You can check there to see if there's any updates. Under client, this is just going to be settings specific to this computer, so whether you wanted to use substream or mainstream, video file size, and things like that. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 866-414-2553 and we'll be glad to assist. Thanks. Bye-bye.